Comedy Central. More importantly, he's here tonight. So get it up, 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 get it up. Give it up for Ted Alexandro!
Thank you to everyone, and especially this guy who's like, I guess we'll keep clapping. Who is this guy? I'm not sure. Thank you, my friend, for partaking. And another hand, please, for my colleagues, for Mary Radzinski and for Brandon Mitchell. Clap it up for them. Yes. Yes. And it bears mentioning that this weekend is Brandon's very first weekend working as an MC, his first proper weekend. So when you're starting up, it's exciting, it's something you look forward to. So let's give a little extra special love to Brandon, doing a great job all weekend. And coincidentally, it's my last weekend as a comedian, so it's kind of poetic in its symbolism, full circle, if you will. And you will. Thank you, one and all. Such a pleasure to be back in Philadelphia, my favorite city, beginning with PH. Phoenix is a distant second. And I'm not even trying to butter you up. That's just the truth. I was wondering, how do you feel about this as Philadelphians or somewhere on the outskirts in the suburbs, most likely? Living somewhere relatively close to Philadelphia as you do. Does it bother you in any sense? Because this popped into my head. Does it bother you in any sense? Is that what the word? Yes. That Bruce Springsteen wrote the song Philadelphia for the movie of the same name. And Bruce Springsteen is so associated with neighboring state, you know what I mean, neighboring part of the region, New Jersey. Does it bother you in any sense that the boss, Bruce Springsteen, wrote a song about your adopted city? I think it should. I am offended for you. Of course you don't care, you live in the suburbs. I have lived in the city these past 3 days, so I know. I've gotten a sense for these streets. And how dare the boss write about my city? There's plenty of Philadelphia artists that they could have used to write that song for the movie. You know, maybe the Fresh Prince, right? He could have written a rap about Tom Hanks' character getting AIDS. Maybe T-cells just don't understand. I don't know. That's just one off the top of my head. I'm sure he might take it in another direction. Oh. Maybe Boys to Men. Right? Boys to Men. 3/4 of the group that we all remember and love. Right? Didn't they kick the guy out with the cane? The bass with the cane? I think that guy might have grounds for a lawsuit. How do you kick out the guy with the cane from Boys to Men? I mean, why did he? Does anyone know? Did anyone watch like a Behind the Music or anything? Why did the bass with the cane get kicked out?
He couldn't dance.
He couldn't dance. He definitely has grounds for a lawsuit. You knew when you hired me. You knew what my deal was when you hired me, motherfuckers. Oh, this is news? I can't dance? I will act as his attorney. If anyone knows his contact info, please send it to me. I'm at Alexandro on Twitter. I think he's got a case, is what I'm saying. So it is good to be here. I have not, this is actually my first weekend back. I have not done stand-up comedy in 16 months, and you may figure that out as the show goes along. Thank you. Thank you very kindly. I've been a comedian for close to 28 years, and so this was the longest gap in my storied career. But I realized during the pandemic that I've had enough. So I announced my retirement. My wife and I, we have a 19-month-old baby boy. Thank you, thank you. And a 3-month-old baby girl. So that lets you know how we spent the pandemic. Listening to Boys to Men's I'll Make Love to You. And then following through. So yes, so I was perfectly happy. I thought, all right, we moved. I lived in Queens basically my whole life, and we moved up to Connecticut. So now I am a father of 2 with a house and a lawn that I mow. And I was like, I don't need to ever go on stage again. And then Helium said, we've got a comedy emergency, can you come back? I said, absolutely not. They said, here's what we're offering. I said, still no. Then they said, all right, we'll double it. I said, now we're getting somewhere. I said, will Boys to Men open for me? They said, we'll look into it. The schedules did not work. Because I insisted that the guy with the cane be part of it, and apparently that was a deal breaker, so I took the gig nevertheless. Here we are. It's weird being a homeowner now. I saw 3 foxes in our yard the other day. We live like in the woods. There were 3 baby foxes. What do you call them? Like foxlings? What are they called? What are they called? Foxes. Kids? Kits? Kiss? Kiss? I'll keep saying it until you say yes to one of these. Kids? Kids? Kids. Ticks? I'll go around and round. I only have to do 40 to 45 minutes. This can eat up a good portion of it, I'm getting a sense. You guys get the sense that she knows what it is. And if you're within earshot, you probably heard. So you think you know what she said? Tits. Every time it's different. Every time it's different. I don't get it. He just said tits. Baby foxes are called tits. If you're ever in the forest and you encounter an adult fox, just yell, "Show your tits." It's perfectly, it's reasonable. It's respectful to ask. They're like, oh, that's very kind of you to ask. Here they are. Here are my tits. I'm joking because that's why we're here. Much of what I say tonight will be, if you process it as such, worthy of a laugh. Yes, so ticks, tits, kits, one of those things, a baby, 3 of those were in my yard, and I was taken aback because as I said, I grew up in Queens. I have not encountered a trio of tits in my life. I was alarmed, as you might be as well. So I was wondering, what do I do? What do I do? Do I call some sort of service that takes the tits away? Do I kill the tits right there as the man of the house? Though we live in gender fluid times, it still befalls me to handle such situations. Or do I write a children's book? I don't know. What am I supposed to do? The story of the 3 now dead tits. It writes itself, does it not? So these are the types of situations that I find myself in. I love being a dad. It's fun. I'm an older dad, by the way. I'm 52 years old. So I bring kind of a grandfather energy to fathering, you know? I'm not that invested in outcomes, generally speaking. You know, I'm like it's fine, everything's gonna work out. You know, I picture like, you know, the young dads at Little League, how they're always so intense and competitive and just like pointing and waving and stuff, moving You're like, relax. It's fucking baseball. It's a dying sport. I don't care that much, you know. I'll go to like parent-teacher night. I'll be older than everyone, the principal included. Like, relax, none of this matters. Is he eating? Is he nice to the other kids? We're done here. I'll see you sometime next semester. Oh, yes. But it is hard. You know, I vacillate between thinking like I'm the best parent in the world, you know, like they should be filming me and educating the others on how this is done. And then just thinking I'm the worst, I am not worthy of parenting. Like I sometimes I lose it on my 19-month-old who he doesn't even like form full sentences yet. It's not fair to yell at someone who just knows like single words to come back at you. You know, like, but the thing is, he does things that we've talked about. Repeatedly, and it doesn't seem to be getting through. And I have a hard time with that. I say, look, we've talked about not throwing everything in the house into the toilet bowl, and yet you keep doing it. Every morning there's something new. If in fact I can't find something, it's very likely in the toilet bowl. I go over, I look at him, I see it, and he's like, uh-oh. I'm like, yeah, uh-oh. We have talked about, you know we've talked about this. You know we've talked about this. You can't form sentences, but you know the vibe of what's going on here. I've been through about 15 toothbrushes in the last 3 weeks because everyone goes into the toilet bowl and then he announces, uh-oh. So it is a test of your patience, and I consider myself a patient person, I do. But yet, you know, it's a test. And then it's hard too because then he's got the 3-month-old, his little sister, all she does is smile. She just smiles and coos, you know? So there's no threat of anything being thrown in a toilet. So most of my attention in terms of parenting, I don't have to parent her. I just have to smile back and say, yes, you are, yes, you are. Yes, I do, see you. I do. We talked about, yes, I do. Yes, I do. And yes, you are. So it's a different dynamic. So I make sure that I give him that same energy. But you say things to a baby that you would not say to anyone else. In fact, if you did, it would be problematic. Like in a court of law, they could say, is it not true that you said, and I quote, "I will eat your face. Yes, I will. Num, num, num. Yes, I will." Yes, that's true, Your Honor. It continues, "I want those cheeks. Give me those cheeks. Num, num, num. You can't stop me." Yes, that's all true, Your Honor. But you have to see her cheeks, actually. Bulbous. So I am a dad. I'm a husband. This is my first time away from them, too. Not just my first time. I don't know if that's appropriate, quite honestly. Clearly, that sound was made by a parent. Yeah, well, that's also, you vacillate between like, wow, I'm alone. I'm a single human being in the world. Like I was taking the Amtrak train down from Connecticut to Philadelphia, and I was alone. I mean, there were other people there, but I didn't have like the ecosystem around me. No baby, no toddler. My wife was not with me, so it was just such a weird thing. So I've been texting, you know, how's everyone? Are you all right? Is everyone okay? And my wife goes back and forth. Yeah, this is great. You know, we don't really need you, it turns out. Which is both a relief and hurts. It hurts on some level. But then, you know, if I get her at the wrong time, she's like, when are you coming back? When are you getting back here? Out having fun, telling jokes, joking around, while I'm with two little babies, keeping them alive with my breasts. I'm like, look, I wish I could. I wish my breasts. I wish I could keep as many as 2 to 3 tits alive with my tits. But it's not in the cards. So it's nice. It's nice to be back. It's nice to be in Philadelphia. I've been working this club, Helium, since before it opened, believe it or not. They did not yet have a liquor license my first weekend here, so it was not officially open. It was almost like Fight Club. Like nobody knew about it. It was like nobody knows about this. It's like Joke Club. We don't talk about it. It stays here. People would bring their own beer and wine and stuff, so I have a lot of affection for Helium Comedy Club. And you know, what was weird too was that I had dates on my calendar. The date that I had circled to return was August 6th and 7th in Las Vegas, because I've been opening for Jim Gaffigan for the past 6 years. So Jim said, let's do Vegas the 6th and 7th. I said, great, let's put that on the calendar. Gives me a little time to lose my pandemic 15 to 20.
19.
And then, next thing I knew, Helium calls. I'm like, great, I've only lost 7. But I guess I'll give it a try. So, you know, if you see me and I'm doing like a stretch, and you say, no, it looks like he could go further, I probably could, but I'm still rounding into shape. So if I do a stretch and like I stop there, it's because I don't want anything to pop. I'm rounding into shape. So I've been a comedian for many years. The first 5 of the years that I was working as a comedian, I was teaching during the day, K through 5. I was an elementary school music teacher. I taught the recorder. I don't know if you're familiar with Satan's little flute. If there's music in hell, I assure you it is played on the recorder by 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders. Hot cross buns, you remember that classic? Who could forget? That was like our Freebird. We would end every concert with hot cross buns. Send him home happy. Do, 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 do. 5 years of my life. Do, 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 do. Then you'd be like, all right, kids, let's turn the page to Three Blind Mice. Same exact song. Different title. Nobody ever caught on. And I only taught them 3 notes the entire year. That was my job. 3 notes. I taught them B, A, and G. One time this little boy came running up to me all excited. He was like, Mr. Alexandro, this is a C. I was like, shut the fuck up. Never mention that again. Ain't no C in the buns. I don't want to increase my workload by 33%. And the little kids, like kindergarten, first grade, they haven't really grasped the gender-specific terms yet because most of their teachers at that age are female. So I was always Mrs. Alexandro to them. And at first you try to correct them. You're like, no, it's Mr. Alexandro because I'm a man. Then after a few weeks, you give up. You're like, it's Miss Alexandro. Because I'm not married. Just meet him halfway. I think my favorite teachers when I was a kid were the art teachers. I always loved art teachers. There was something bizarre about them. They were always like they were like the homeless people of the faculty, just dirty and disheveled, like digging through the garbage, looking for bottles and egg cartons and things. Just accumulating all sorts of random items. Pick up like a paper clip and put it in their wagon. They might need it at some point. Disorganized, just making announcements when you're already on your way out the door. Like, people, listen up. People, get him. People, if any of your neighbors or relatives have any paper towel rolls, start bringing them in. We're gonna be making vases for Mother's Day. Vases. These people like MacGyver, for crying out loud. And it always backfired on me because around Mother's Day, my mom would get all depressed and start yelling at us that we were selfish and only thought of ourselves, which only made it worse because then you had to whip out the paper towel roll like, huh? You were saying? And I believe this pasta necklace is yours too. I love you, Mom. Now put on the rigatoni. Pasta goes with everything. Oh, what a lovely, lovely crowd we have here tonight. Lots of couples in the front row. I don't know if that's just because it's 2 seats at every table. Although I'm being presumptuous that you're couples. Maybe you're just all singles that they paired up. Wouldn't that be weird? Are you guys a couple indeed? How long has that been so?
It's over 20 years.
Over 20 years. Could be 30, could be 40. Over 20. That's right. Well, congratulations. What's that?
You're my wife's favorite comedian.
That I'm your wife's favorite comedian? Oh, thank you so much. Wow, thank you. And you're like, it can go either way, but you're my wife's favorite, so fine, I'll get tickets, I'll sit through it right in the front, fine. I appreciate the sacrifice you're making here tonight, so on behalf of your wife. Well, that's very nice. When was the first time that you saw me? Was it here?
New York City about 20 years
New York about 20 years ago? I don't mean to start a fight between you. Maybe it was 20. You don't even know how long you've been together, so when you saw me is not important. Dave Chappelle showed up. Did I let him go on? So do you remember what club? Was it at the Cellar or?
On the west side.
On the west side, might have been, it's not important, but it might have been Stand Up New York.
Yes.
It was Stand Up New York. Wow. All right, I'll check my comedy diary and see if in fact, if that checks out, but it seems as though we've solved it. Well, that's a hell of a night. You saw Dave Chappelle
Yeah.
and your wife's favorite comedian in the same show. That's pretty good, I would say. Well, thank you. And had you seen me since, or is this the first time since then?
No, I think we've seen you since too, but I can't recall.
You can't recall. You just saw me like on the street or in a club. Like. All right. Well, either way, we're here together, all three of us, just like way back when, 20 years ago. Life is strange, is it not? Here we are again. I'll tell Dave Chappelle that I saw you, that you're doing well, you're still together, not completely aware of how long you've been together, but we all lose track of time. The important thing is we're all here. Well, that's very nice. And you guys, whose favorite am I at this table? Because it's got to be one of you at every. Have you seen me before? You can be honest. You've never seen me. First time seeing me. Do you think I might rank somewhere in your top 5? I'm not saying favorite even. I'm saying you had heard my name
On Raw Dog.
on Raw Dog on Sirius XM. Good. This is good because I like to accumulate data and I put it into my spreadsheet of how the couples know me, where they first saw me, that type of thing, where they rank me. So this is all good for my spreadsheet. I heard someone say Jim Gaffigan, so you saw me performing with Jim. Was it here?
Yeah.
At the Borgata. Okay, good. So we've only got about 30 tables left for the spreadsheet, and that'll be a good night. That'll be a good, solid night of data accumulation. Well, what a lovely crowd you guys are. So, yeah, I'm 52. I'm at the age where I've aged into. I'm hearing another voice. Is it mine as well? And, that shouldn't be so, and yet. Do you guys remember when you saw me 20 years ago? Was there like an echo? Or is this something. I've been vaxxed, so maybe that's a side effect. Once you get that second shot of the Pfizer, your voice goes into other parts of whatever room you might happen to be in. So yes, 52, and I've discovered that there is in the vitamin section of the pharmacy, all of a sudden there's a 50 and over vitamin section, like you can no longer be part of the other group. All of a sudden the directions get vague too. It's like take 2, take as many as 10. We have no idea. Just keep shoving them in your mouth. We really can't be sure. Let us know how it goes. I went up a font size on the phone. Man, I wish I'd done it sooner. I had no idea what a game changer that would be. I went as high as they offered. I went like top line on the eye chart. I'm reading articles a letter at a time now. It's like, that's an A. I think that's an F. I've been peeing sitting down. That's another. What a pleasure that's turned out to be, man. Wow. You just sit there, you take stock. After taking the toilet bowl out of the toothbrush out of the toilet bowl. But I'm at that phase, you know, just sit, relax. Let the young guys stand, right? You got hopes and dreams. Goals, long-term and short. Not me. You got a stream you can depend on. You got a spotty flow. I'm like an old rapper. It's a lot of What? Make some noise. Find myself waking up injured more and more. Can't explain that. Doesn't make any sense. Go to sleep perfectly fine. Wake up with like a strained hamstring. I don't remember running in the night. Am I supposed to stretch before I sleep now? I thought this was the most low impact thing I could be doing. Something always hurts. And it always moves around, you know, like, it's like, oh, my ankle's better, but now my neck, there's something going on in the neck. This will work itself out. And it takes less and less to hurt me. I did a gig in Hawaii a few years ago. I was in Maui. So beautiful, just first time there. Trying to soak it all in, just standing on the shore, communing with nature. The waves are rolling in. Suddenly, a wave hits my knee. It buckles. It's still not the same. I don't think it'll ever be the same. That's where I'm at. Water is a threat. I went to the doctor. He's like, what, were you playing basketball? I was like, no, I was standing still. I was relaxing. He's like, well, you should be more careful. I'll try. I don't see how that's possible. I was entirely stationary, both physically and spiritually. There was a stillness, Doc. I've been chasing ever since. Are you spiritual sorts? You look like you have a spirituality about you.
Why not? Yeah, sure. Life's weird.
Why not? Yeah, sure. Life's weird. With those few short phrases, you have drawn me into your cult. The why not, life's weird cult. I bow down to you, sir. Oh man, I am looking for, because I spent the pandemic watching a lot of documentaries on cults, and you do have the makings. I don't know. I think I could be a good cult leader. I wouldn't be a good cult member because I question. So I'd be like, why are you kissing everyone on the mouth? Whenever you're ready to answer that, I would like to hear it. Those types are not welcome in the cult. It's like I'm kissing everyone in the mouth because that's why I started this cult. Did you guys watch that one with Keith Raniere? Yes. He was recently sentenced to prison, finally. Check it out if you have not seen that. That was a good one. Because the guy was like a little hobbit. He was, the perfect cult leader. Because every cult leader, you're like, how the hell did that guy, right? He was odd. And I realized I just said that you'd be a good cult leader. And I don't mean that you are odd. You just have a charisma and a life philosophy that you can spit out at a moment's notice. But this guy, there was nothing compelling about him. He was very odd, in fact. had a background in sales, like what do they call those, pyramid scheme type stuff, you know? Which, as far as I know, you don't kiss people on the mouth while you're trying to pull them into a pyramid scheme. But yeah, check that one out. Keith Raniere, he's now in prison. Have you guys seen it? It's good. You should check it out. I'm really just here to get you up on the latest offerings on Netflix and Amazon. So I have been trying to round back into shape. I gained, like I said, probably about 20 pounds. How did I find that out? Here's how. I went to the doctor during the pandemic, not COVID related. I had a rash in the crook of my elbow all of a sudden, and I didn't know what it was. I was alarmed. There was a rash, and I did what we all do. I ignored it for a few days. Then it appeared on the left side. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Do I have the COVID? Am I dying? Made an appointment, went. The doctor gave me a topical ointment to apply. Everything appears to have cleared up. But at the visit, the doctor had me get on the scale, and I weighed 220, which I have never weighed in my life. You know, high school I was like maybe 185, 190. In recent years, I try to keep it in the 2 level, and it was 220, and I was alarmed. I said, Doc, why am I'm here because I have a rash in my elbow. Why, you know, I thought your whole oath was do no harm. That was the beginning. But you know what I realized? The doctor didn't say this to me, but I pieced it together later, that I think it was the shit from my baby's diapers, because I'm constantly carrying them, and I would go, 2 to 3 days without bathing during the pandemic. I'm not judging anyone else, do not judge me. I was in the insanity of 2 babies and being quarantined, and so I think I essentially had diaper rash in each elbow. That cleared right up once I bathed and applied the ointment. But I have not been going to the gym. Part of me misses it, just the people watching. You see the big guys, right? The big pigeons, the way they walk around, they're always just like, it's the way they say hello to each other. They're always asking each other what part of the body they're working out. Like, what are you working out today? Back and bias. What are you working out? Ass and head. I had no idea. First time I went, they're like, what are you working out today? I was like, childhood issues? Is there a machine for that? And they always want to spot you too, right? Guys want to give you a spot at the gym. They yell at you. They're like, all you, all you. I'm struggling like, some you. It's too heavy. A little bit me, mostly you. Some of the big guys carry journals as they work out. They write things down in the gym. I have no idea what they're writing, like, dear diary. I feel like a huge weight has been lifted. 15 times. Love me. I like watching the old guys work out at the gym. There's something comforting about that. It's like the ghost of workout's future. They never use the machine for what it's supposed to be for. Could be like a bicep machine. The guy's got his head in there. I guess he knows what he's doing. Why is he wearing dress shoes? I keep it simple, though. I'll do like cardiovascular exercise, maybe jump rope a little bit. Sometimes if they don't have the rope there, I just do the jumping motion. And there was this old guy on the Stairmaster. He's like, why don't you use a real rope? I was like, why don't you climb real stairs? Why doesn't she ride a real bike? This whole place is a sham. Why do you gotta single me out? Some jokes you just have to pause and appreciate. Ranking as someone's top comedian. And their husband tolerating it. How about you guys? I feel as though, it's weird. As a comedian, you get a certain sense after a while, like a psychic sense, if you've seen people before. Have you guys ever been to one of my shows before? You don't believe so? I believe you have. Think hard now, think hard. I didn't always have the beard. So it's the first time. Well, welcome. Are you guys married?
20-year anniversary.
20-year anniversary. Let's give them a hand. Isn't that impressive how they know exactly how long they've been together? To the day. Well, congratulations. And is this part of the celebration?
Yes, it is.
Excellent. I'm very happy for you. How did you guys meet one another?
I get your friends.
Through mutual friends. They introduced you. They said, I think you guys aren't going to do any better. I think it's time. Well, that's great. Clearly it's worked out. You look very happy. You have a glow about you, and that's fantastic. Congratulations. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, sure. We can have a sincere moment. We can clap for love, right? Yes, we've been waiting 17 months for love to appear, and here it is, and some of you are like, let's give them a robust round of applause for love is in our midst. It is alive and well. Yes, it is a beautiful thing. I personally, I have a bit of a love story with my wife. We had dated, and then she broke up with me. And then 10 years went by, and then I received a text out of the blue. And you know how you recognize the area code? I saw 908. I was like, oh, look who's back. I only had to wait 10 years. So the text said simply, how are you? I said, today or the last 10 years? The answer to both is fine. But I was actually happy. You know, time had gone by, life had been lived. I was happy to hear from her, and it was the right time for both of us. It wasn't, you know, the common love story that you hear about where friends put you together. But nevertheless, we both knew it was right. We went for coffee, we hung out, and also the timing was good because that particular weekend, I said, would you like to come to my gig? She said, sure. And I was playing Madison Square Garden. I was opening for Jim Gaffigan at Madison Square Garden, so she knew that she could not refuse. It wasn't, I was no longer playing small clubs on the west side of New York City. I had moved up. So it was a love story. We came full circle, and now we have 2 babies because we spent the pandemic making love to one another. Yes, so sometimes, you know, sometimes you just keep believing. Now, some of you are saying, oh, wow, you know, maybe the relationship that got away is the one. I'm not saying that, all right? I'm saying it worked for me, so don't fool yourselves. I like to be harsh in my assessments of what's possible. No, but of course it's possible. That's what life is. So before I wrap up, does anyone feel ignored? I feel like I may have ignored this side of the room. Are you guys okay? You're all right? Has anyone here seen me before? No, but you feel as though maybe you might come again in 20 years. That seems to be the timeline. I don't know how long I can keep doing this, but I guess I'll see you in 20 years. You would think your wife's favorite comedian, you might make an effort to find tickets sooner than 2 decades. No, it's great. You guys you're wonderful and a great crowd, and I so much appreciate you being here. It's nice to be amongst people again. It's weird, it's odd, but it's renewing in some sense, is it not? Right? I think so. So I will leave you with this. Before I ever became a father, I was a godfather. I was fortunate. My brother and his wife. We've bonded. Today you were asked to be a godmother. Did you say yes?
Of course, yes.
Okay, so we're celebrating the fact that she was asked to be a godmother, and she said yes. Well, that is special, and I'll tell you what you're in for. What's the relationship of the?
It is my niece's son.
Your niece's son, and so this is a baby.
A baby of 1 year. He's not even a year yet.
He's not even a year yet. So do you have the date of when this is going to go down?
We don't, not yet, no.
No, so it's still up in the air. It'll happen. They just had to lock you in. That's really what it was. But here's what happens, and I found this a little strange because I didn't know what to expect. So this will be instructive for you. During the ceremony, they call you up on the altar and they start firing questions at you. Do you reject Satan? I do. And all his works? I'm not familiar with all his works. But I'm not a fan. You ever been in church, preachers preaching, choirs singing? You look up at the crucifix and you think, man, Jesus had great abs. He was cut, right? Could have had his own workout video, like abs of a savior. Body of Christ. Cross training. Because that's what you want in a savior. You want him to be in shape. Because have you seen Buddha? Sloppy. Slopola. A few crunches, boo. Just clean it up. And switch it. Guys, thank you so much for coming out. I'm Ted Alexandro. Congratulations to all those celebrating. Thanks so much. Good night.